You know, as I said last night when I talked to you about coming out here, I checked over the roster, and to my surprise, seeing Leighton Duke's name on there, thinking it was a typo or something was messed up, but obviously not. You got one of the most gifted running backs and defensive backfield players in the county. Talk about that whole process.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere during spring break. Actually, they called and applied to the school, and I didn't. When I first was made aware of it, I didn't think he would get in because we were super tight on space. Our re-enrollment rate was like 99.9% for the high school, so I didn't really think there was a chance it could happen. And then it did. So, you know, God has definitely blessed us in that regard. Obviously, he's a phenomenal football player, but he has done a great job of fitting into our culture, work ethic, the demands, the standards that we try to set forth, and he's just come in and kind of fit right in line with everybody else to be a leader and all that kind of stuff.
That makes it easy for you as a coach, obviously.
Absolutely.
Now, as I was telling Leighton, in the years I've covered Metrolina, you guys always had some skilled players on the offense side of the ball, but this is as good as it gets, I think, I've seen in the 10 years. So you're feeling?
Absolutely. I've said that to multiple people. Like, we've got more offensive skill depth of kids who are very talented than we've ever had. You know, we've always had a couple of good players here or there. 2014, I think we had 4 receivers that were really good, and that's probably the deepest we've ever been, with Rudd and then Logan Shoemate and Chandler Rivers and Grayson Nolan and Paris Lytle. But this group, we could probably go 8 to 10 guys who really give us just as much as the next guy in front of them. Whether it's from our slot guys with speed or outside guy being more possession receivers. So that's going to give us a lot of depth and allow us to play more guys both ways, because we know we've got some guys who can step in fresh and give us the same execution and all that stuff on the offensive side of the ball and make plays.
And that depth's got to help when you're playing schools like Latin and Country Day, I think, is on your schedule early on. Just talk about the depth that you have on this team, your offensive and defensive lines, and the prospects going forward to the season.
Yeah, so it's absolutely going to make a difference. You know, a lot of these kids that are seniors have played the last 2 years, been a part of a really good team last year, made a playoff run to the semifinals. But we've got a lot of guys that haven't played football in 2 or 3 years that decided to come out or have never played, and they're in the mix for playing time. So it's going to still be a challenge with playing Country Day and Latin, and our first game is against St. Paul's, the 2A school from down near Fayetteville, who's in 2020, the spring season, they won the 2A state championship. They lost in the semis last year, were undefeated until that point. So our first 3 games are going to be a super challenge for us, our coaches, our players. But to your point, that depth will definitely help us through that, not having to depend on 2 or 3 people specifically.
And what do you feel for the team? I know it's tough. You got a long season ahead. You're just in the middle of the summer. But how do you feel with the ball club that you have?
I'm very excited. I think we have an opportunity to do something special. What that is, I don't know. You know, a lot of people just talk championship. We're more about the process every day and being great every day. And then whatever happens. That's kind of what we've done the last 3 or 4 years, and we've been fairly successful. But it's going to be an exciting year. I think we've got a chance to be good on offense. We've got a lot of new guys on defense, but guys who are talented, have the ability to make plays. We've got a new defensive coordinator who's bringing in some new things defensively that I think are going to benefit us. So I'm extremely excited, and I know our guys, we've had a phenomenal offseason and summer, so just super pumped.